Hi and welcome to another Carpenter Tutoring tutorial. I'm Amy and my job is to help you work smarter, not harder, so you can get through your work more quickly and with less stress. Today we are going to talk about a difference of squares scenario that is a little more complicated than some that you may have seen before. So this is a word of caution for kind of the worst thing that you can see with difference of squares. Now, as I look at this equation, I see that I have my regular number, my constant, given to me first. And then the term with the variable is actually the second part of the equation. That's not the standard format that we expect for difference of squares. So the first thing I'm going to do is multiply both sides of this equation by -1 so that I can put things in the order that I'm used to seeing it. Now, fair note, you don't have to take this step. You can continue working with the difference of squares format in the way that it is right now. I just like to see it with my variable first. So I'm going to take that step. You don't have to, but at least this way it looks like the format we're a little more used to encountering. So when I multiply both sides of the equation by -1, essentially that's going to flip my signs. So I have -81 plus 16f to the fourth equals 0. And then I'll go ahead and reorder to put my f to the fourth term first. So 16f to the fourth minus 81 equals 0. Whew, that looks a little bit better. From here, we have to create our factors. So we know the first term of each factor is going to be the square root of the first term of our original equation. The square root of 16 is 4, and the square root of f to the fourth is f squared. So I know that both of my factors are going to start with 4f squared. Next, my second term is 81. The square root of 81 is 9. Remember that I don't bring the subtraction sign along with this 81 because it's included in the definition of difference of squares. So we're just going to take the 9. That'll be the second term in both of my factors. And then to complete my difference of squares form, I need to make sure that one factor has addition and the other factor has subtraction. Now I have factored this, but is it complete? When you do difference of squares, it's always a good idea to take at least a quick look at your answer and make sure you can't factor anything any further. When I take a look at 4f squared plus 9, our first factor, there's nothing more that I can really do there. But 4f squared minus 9, that's actually another difference of squares. That means we can take this factoring one step further. So I'm going to use the difference of squares pattern again on 4f squared minus 9. I'll start with 4f squared. The square root of 4f squared is 2f, so both of my factors will start with that. And then the square root of 9 is 3, so both of my factors will end with that. Just like the formula says, one of our factors has to have addition, the other factor has to have subtraction. So we have factored one of the factors from our original difference of squares equation. A really important point from this is that these two factors only represent the second factor from our original equation. We still have to bring the first one back down to make sure we're recreating the entire original equation. So I'll drop this 4f squared plus 9 down and make sure that everything is still set equal to 0. As I look at each of my factors now, I don't see any more difference of squares situations, and there isn't a way for me to really nicely or easily break down that 4f squared plus 9 factor unless I start taking radicals, and I don't really feel like doing that at this point. So we're going to consider this as factored as possible. Of course, from here, you could use your factors to solve for the roots of this equation, but our job for today was just to factor this completely. I hope this video was helpful. Let me know in the comments if there are any other topics or equations you'd like to see covered. As always, thank you so much for spending part of your day with me, and I'll catch you next time.